dry yeast, milk with egg yolk, sugar, flour and unsalted butter. Spread the flour on the table and make a well in between. Pour the sugar, followed by yeast, then a little bit of milk and yolk mixture just to activate the yeast. Since this is a dry yeast, you will have to keep it for some time to make it soft and easy to mix. Start mixing the dough using the scraper. Bring everything to the center so that everything gets mixed equally and properly. This is just like kneading your chapati dough. Keep on kneading it, pressing it, stretching it, bringing everything together again to the center of the table. Then add the second batch of your liquid and continue kneading. Around 5 minutes into kneading the dough, as you can see, all the mixture has come together and formed into a sticky paste kind dough. At this stage the dough will be quite sticky, but don't worry, you keep on kneading so that everything comes together into one single mass. Scrape out every now and then and rub off any excess dough that has stuck to your fingers, palm, and continue kneading. Now you can see your dough is less sticky, it is quite stretching, but it is still stiff, so you will have to continue kneading. At this stage you can add the salt. As you can see, I have removed excess salt so that it doesn't become too salty also, but depending on the brand you can adjust the salt always. Continue kneading the dough for 10 more minutes so that it becomes more elastic and soft. Now this is an optional stage. You can either go with vanilla essence or you can go with lemon zest, that is the yellow part of the lemon, or you can go with spices like cardamom, cinnamon, or any other essence if you like. At the end we add the soft unsalted butter. It is always advisable to keep the butter at the room temperature at the beginning of the process so that it becomes very easy to mix into the dough. The main reason we add butter to the dough is to make it very soft and also to enhance its flavor. Make sure to always keep it outside at least 1 hour before you start the dough. The dough will start breaking at this stage, but you keep on kneading it till the dough comes together. Continue kneading. As the dough comes together, it becomes more elastic and more stretchy. This is due to the protein present in the flour, that is called gluten. Once it is done, take a little bit of dough, stretch it from the middle. If it breaks like this, continue kneading. Around 10 minutes to 15 minutes into kneading, take the dough again, roll it and start stretching again from the middle. As you can see, the dough is stretching nicely. Now this means the dough is ready to be processed for the next step. Roll the dough into a ball and rest it for proving under a bowl for at least 10 to 15 minutes. Now dust the surface with flour, place the dough on top of it and flatten it with your finger. Make sure there is enough flour on the top and bottom so that the dough doesn't stick to the table. Next, roll the dough on all the sides of the surface. Turn the dough if you have to and make sure it is to your finger thickness, and continue rolling if you have to. Start cutting the dough. You can use either dough cutter or cookie cutter. Here I have used cookie cutter. Cut as many as possible. Remove the excess dough and keep them aside for the next batch. Now cut the center with a smaller cutter so that you get the donut shape, and continue the same with rest of the pieces. Place the cut donut on butter paper. If not, you can dust the tray with the flour and place the donut directly in it. If you don't have the tray, then you can dust the working surface with the flour and keep the dough over there. Take a wet cloth and close the top of the tray and keep the dough for proving for at least 30 to 45 minutes. Place the oil on the stove for frying and keep it at medium flame. Start frying the donut. Make sure you fry only one side completely before flipping it over the other side. This takes around 30 to 40 seconds on each side. You can fry it to dark golden brown color, and the white color which is visible around the donut is a sign of a good donut. Depending on the size of your frying pan, you can place more than one or two donut, but make sure they are not cramped or congested, otherwise the shape of the donut won't come out nicely. Also make sure that you increase or decrease the heat according to the need of the donut so that the donut doesn't get burnt or it gets undercooked. Make sure the oil is at right temperature for frying the donut. Make chocolate ganache or sauce with cream and melted chocolate. Mix them nicely. Strain them if you have to, but make sure the sauce is smooth and shiny. Dip the donut into the chocolate sauce. and make sure to shake off the excess sauce so that it doesn't drip on the side.